afternoon. You are tuned into Ability Matters, a program that covers matters to do with abilities, disabilities and everything in between. Ability Matters is one of the longest running disability-related programs in the whole wide world. Starting its headway on air in 2007, you can now listen to podcasts of previous Ability Matters programs on YouTube and Spotify. Just search for Ability Matters. Ability Matters is brought to you by My Home Living Care, an NDIS registered disability.
That's right. Thank you, Sean. This is Ability Matters. You're tuned to VOX FM 106.9. The time is now 4 minutes past 12 p.m. and I'm your host, Tony Scott Emilio. Now, let's just continue on with today's show. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, of course. This is, of course, the Illawarra's greatest community radio station, VOX FM. Now, today we've got, as Sean just mentioned, the voice you heard earlier, we have a pre-recorded interview set up today. We're interviewing a guy named, hang on, I'll just read out the full spokesman here. This week, Sean spoke with Matthew, the pre-recorded interview we were talking about before. Now, Matthew is the Chief Operating Officer of My Home Living Care. In other words, Matthew is the boss of who Sean works for, yeah? And who's sponsoring this program, of course. Now, they discussed Matthew's background, how he plays in a band called Neon Sunset, how Matthew got involved in My Home Living Care, the work My Home Living Care does, and people they support. Further, how Home Living Care owning the houses that people participate in and they live with the benefits, the participants, the community events called Waves and Enables. I remember that back, it's a while ago now, but yeah, different name back then. And all that other things that come together, Home Living Care supports. How NDIS only covers wages and not the other costs like travel, event tickets, etc. And what is in store for the future of My Home Living Care. Also attached, I'll just continue on there. I'll start off with the program for this morning. We're going to open up with the first part of the interview I've been talking about with Matthew Vano. Here we go. Enjoy, listeners.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sean. I'm here doing a pre-recorded interview on Ability Matters, and today I'm talking to Matthew Vano, the Chief Operating Officer, the COO or the COO of My Home Living Care, and he's based in Sydney. Hello, Matthew.
Hi, Sean. How you going, mate?
Good. How are you today?
Yeah, going all right.
So let's kick it off, mate. Let's just find a little bit of the man behind the microphone, or the other side of the microphone, behind the phone, I guess. Yourself, Matthew. Tell us a little bit about yourself, mate. You got a family, and what do you do when you're not working hard?
So I do have a family. I've got a wife and a daughter, a 4-year-old daughter, very, very active 4-year-old daughter.
So you basically got two bosses at home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Just out of interest, who's the highest ranking boss? Don't worry, I won't tell them this.
No, I can't say any of that on record. That's going to get me in trouble.
Okay.
But if you ask my wife, it's my daughter. If you ask my daughter, it's her. So. And I guess on weekends or maybe at least once a month, I like to play in a rock band, and we rehearse about once a week. And that's kind of, I suppose, my stress relief, and being able to kind of burn out all the work and the kid stuff, and be able to just hang out with 4 other mates, make really loud music, and basically have fun.
What position I was going to say? What instrument do you play?
So I play guitar. I'm not the better of the two guitarists.
So fair to call you the rhythm guitarist.
Yeah, you can call me the rhythm guitarist.
Fair enough.
I do crack out a solo once, and I think that's enough. But I'm happy being the guy that keeps everyone kind of in check. I tend to cue everyone, the next sections, and when that sort of comes through, and try and build the dynamics.
So you're the boss of the band then, I guess. You can release the boss somewhere.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they do call me the manager because I'm the guy that ends up talking to the venue, punters, and try and organise rehearsals, get everyone together. I suppose, which is not too far off to what I do with My Home Living Care.
Yeah.
Rostering staff and getting them, making sure that they turn up when they're supposed to. So I suppose it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
It's the same sort of skills, same sort of mental muscles, I guess you could say. What's the name of the band?
So the band's called Neon Sunset. You can find it on Instagram as Neon Sunset, the band. I suppose if anyone out there listening would like to give it a follow, that does help us with venues when they have a look at our profile and they're trying to, book a band, they do look at those numbers.
I know you've played in Wollongong before. You any plans to come back down again? You played at the Servo there at Port Kembla.
Yeah. So we got a new drummer on board, and he was residing down in Wollongong, and I've made it his mission to try and find us some gigs down in Wollongong. But apart from that, Wollongong, I'm hoping to come down maybe towards the end of the year.
Okay.
But we do have Newcastle June 19, and then in the Sydney City, around mid-May.
Okay.
Again, if anyone listening is following the Instagram
Hang on, did you
page,
say
all the
mid-May?
Oh, sorry, mid-July.
Mid-July, okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
if anyone's listening and follow the Instagram page, then you'll be able to see all the details as the gigs come through.
And I've seen them. The boys rock along. They're probably kind of your mid to heavy rock, kind of anthem pub rock band. Very good. So, yeah,
great.
good time.
That's pretty much our aim. So,
Yeah.
great.
I'll dig up a song to play a little bit later on today as well to give people a bit of an experience of the Neon Sunset experience.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And where do you live in Sydney?
So I live in Balcombe Hills.
Balcombe Hills.
Quite close to Castle Hills. My home living care office is in Castle Hills. So I'm not always in the office. I do find myself travelling a bit to different places. But if I do have to go in the office, it's quite close.
So My Home Living Care is the organisation you work for,
Yep.
which I should declare a conflict of interest. I work for as well. Pretty good organisation. I say that with a boss listening.
Yeah.
I've got great bosses. How'd you get involved with My Home Living Care?
So My Home Living Care, that was actually founded by my mum back in 2009. After 2009, so I suppose when I graduated high school as well. Kind of been involved in the business on and off through the years, mainly through like their kind of tech support, setting up computers, any sort of technical issues they had. I was generally the guy that they called. And then I finished my uni degree maybe around 2013, worked at some cool places, some cool venues, worked with some cool bands, worked for a school for 5 or 6 years. And then I think about end of 2018, after working weekends and night times, I just kind of found myself in a position where I actually, the thought of working 9 to 5 was pleasing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being able to have your weekends free to see mates and hang out and all that kind of made it appealing. And, mum's like, well, if you want, you can try rostering, and if you survive, then perhaps you'll survive my industry. The office at the time was in Seven Hills. I walked in there. It was a big, lavish office, and Mum made it look like a very appealing thing, which I think was her end goal in the end. Yeah. Started rostering and found that the job was a people-based job. You're getting to know lots of people, working with different personalities, which I find quite, I guess, something that was quite of interest for me.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, I worked with bands. Should I name drop some bands?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Now's the time.
Ocean Alley, before they ever hit number one on Triple J's Hottest 100.
They're very popular amongst the kids these days.
Yeah, they played at a pub at Moonshine. Back in the day, it was called up in Manly. Another band called Winston's Surf Shirt. I think some of the kids may know these bands. So I worked with them.
I'm a bit lucky. I've got 18-year-old boys, so I've heard of these bands.
Yeah. So I did have I work with great musicians and great sound guys. So I was mainly doing the sound and events. And when I was working for the school, I was part of the tech team there. Working in great studios and just, great people who have basically, been in the industry for so long. But all of them all had sort of the same regrets, wanting their weekends back, wanting to be able to not travel so much, being away from home. And I kind of reflected on that. And that's when, when My Home Living Care came, 9 to 5, still got that kind of working with people, and that still quite appealed heavily to me.
And so you got involved in rostering. How did you find rostering? Because people either love it or hate it.
Yeah,
very readily middle ground.
I enjoy the challenges that comes with it. Don't get me wrong, there are days where I absolutely hate it, but there are days where, when you overcome those days is when you really feel you reap the reward of what you do.
It's one of those things in rostering, you've either got too many staff or not enough, and both is a problem. Too many people are, looking for work, and, they're struggling to earn an income, and not enough staff, obviously. Then, there's not enough people to go around. So it is, very rarely there's that middle ground.
Yeah, that's right. And then I suppose, being rostering, a lot of it was I was talking to, I suppose, mostly staff on the field, and then, came the time where I was going out we had an RN at the time, I was going out with her, meeting clients, and again, still you're seeing that different perspective of people who are vulnerable in the community, and knowing that we're actually helped just resonated quite well. And when I was working in music, I was out there making the people on the stage shine. That was what I enjoyed doing. And that's similar to, I suppose, in some respects with disability, where I want the staff on the field to shine, to build that relationship with the client, so that the clients then feel, or the participants I should say, so the participants should feel like they're having some sort of independence, making a difference to society.
Wow. Very powerful, strong little words there from the interviewer. Thank you. Matthew, should I say Matthew Vanno. Yes, we go. Now, his band he mentioned, Neon Sunset, song. I have a song here by Neon Sunset, and I'm going to play them for you right now, just to get him out there. The song's called Anytime. Neon Sunset. Take a chill.
Can't believe that you walked through the door and you're looking at me. Tell me, baby, how's it gonna be? Yeah. 'Cause it's a world that this night's been hell, and I'm starting to think that you never can tell. So tell me, baby, how's it gonna be? Yeah. Take you to a better night. I'm not that hard to find. Take me on, take me on. Anytime you wanna take me on, you're my line. 'Cause I can take you to a better night. I'm not that hard to find. Take me on, take me on.
Wow. Yes, very new age and powerful. I enjoyed it. I'm going to look forward to it. I'm going to do what he said earlier, research them on, look them up on Spotify and other things I have to, I think Spotify is a safe one. Maybe YouTube, I'm sure. I'll do a Google search and see where it leads me. Okay, but now I'm just going to say it's 20 minutes past 12. Let's go straight back into the interview. It's part 2 of the interview with Matthew Vano, the CEO of My Home Living Care.
And at that stage, My Home Living Care were mostly sort of in-home care. Can you just talk a little bit about what in-home care is?
In-home care, or I think it's more popularly referred to these days as drop-in support. So basically people still staying at home in their own home, and we drop in and provide that support. It can be a couple of hours of just helping them shower, kind of get ready for the day, or helping them go to sleep at the end of the day, or it can be, going out into the community, doing any sort of community activities, or going out shopping, attending medical appointments, or anything that they need assistance with out in the community. That's kind of where we started, and we kind of focus a lot on different cultures. So myself, I'm Filipino, so we've built a bit of relationship in the Filipino community. Then if we're talking Sydney, the southwest area has kind of got the Vietnamese community there. So we kind of built on staff, and we still have staff up to this day. I'd probably say more than 10 years now, still with us, still out in the community and still helping people as in their culture. Back then, I suppose the focus was a bit more on different cultures and making sure that the people that we send speak the same language as you. That was kind of Mum's big thing. But I suppose where we are now is more where, we're still open for the cultures, don't get me wrong, but we are focusing more on the greater population and kind of, catering something for everyone. Broadening
that offering of the services.
Yeah, that's right. So,
what kind of clients were you or are you still working with? Ages and support needs and things like that.
Yeah. So I suppose they did come from different cultural backgrounds, but the support is more or less the same, but kind of tailored to what they know culturally. So if we're talking like people in the Vietnamese community, the food that the staff were preparing was something that's a bit more familiar, rather than sort of like a Filipino person coming through and supporting someone who's Vietnamese, and kind of the foods may be a bit different.
Well, I've been to both countries, and the food in both countries is awesome. So that wouldn't be the worst thing, but
that's true.
It is good to have familiar food, of course.
Yeah, I guess those are pretty much the examples that come to mind. But some cultures there's specific ways of like the shower, or there's a culture that I came across where in terms of washing their clothes that you put on is washed differently to the clothes that you use to kind of clean the house or even clean yourself with. They're washed separately. They're washed in different ways and things and all that. So all of that. All of that for me is interesting. Learning other cultures. As I said, I'm Filipino coming into an Australian country where, for me, growing up, it was a bit more Anglo-Saxon. But as I grew up, I did get exposed to lots of different cultures. I grew up in Eastwood, which has a big Korean and Chinese kind of community. My good mates growing up were Lebanese. I learnt lots of Lebanese words and foods, and my best mate was also Lebanese, and my other best mate's Italian, so, a bit of everything.
United Nations World Tour.
That's right,
yeah. Fantastic. Okay, and just like, are the clients, are they like generally like, kids and they're living in their parents' homes, or their husbands and wives, or is there a commonality to that, or are they just a wide variety of the above?
I'd say they're usually adults. We probably only have a small amount of people that are under the age of 18, but in saying that they're probably 16 and up anyway. I'd probably say it's quite common that they live with family if they're living at home, because family can offer that sort of informal support, as the NDIS, I believe, is coining it these days, where they can have sort of that help maybe at certain times of the day when we can't get a staff in, or it's not part of the NDIS plan. We are seeing an increase in those inquiries coming through where more and more people are kind of living by themselves at home, or at a home that's been provided for them by the government. We support them there as well. They do have a level of independence still and some sort of understanding, and they can make their own decisions, which we absolutely support. They just may need, reminding to take their medication, have a shower, and get ready for bed, or vice versa, getting ready for the day before they go to work or before they head out into the community to do whatever it is that they like to do for the day.
I guess even the people you're working with speak English. There's still a different language that needs to be spoken depending on, I guess, their intellectual capacity or social experience and things like that. So I guess they're still using those kind of working with the person and their culture, even if it's not like an overseas kind of culture. It's, I guess, how their families worked or how their social or their intellectual experiences and things have built them.
Even I suppose in even simpler kind of context, like, in the Philippines, and I'm mainly speaking for the Philippines because I suppose that's the culture I was surrounded with, but we eat everything and anything with a spoon and fork. I was born in Australia, but I spent 6 years in the Philippines, and when I came back from the Philippines, I went to a mate's house who's Aussie, and they gave me meat, 3 veg, and a knife and fork, and I was like, well, where's the rice? Where's the spoon? How does this work? So even something as simple as utensils, that's a cultural difference in some respects, right?
Something you do every day that's most people's probably below the level of awareness, really. It's just something that's sort of almost the background kind of thing. But, the differences then become very apparent, I guess. They show up very quickly.
I suppose that understanding or that sort of self-awareness is something that I'd like our staff to kind of be aware of, that different cultures may have different understandings, and if someone's upset because you're kind of not taking in their cultural beliefs, then don't take it personally, but instead kind of take that on as a learning experience. That next time when you are there, just know that maybe they do speak a bit direct, but they're not being rude or they're not being demanding, so to speak, but they're just kind of, that's just part of their culture, part of their language, is that there's no please or no thank you. It's just kind of direct kind of language.
Cool. And so, we talked about being in home, and the work that My Home Living Care has changed in the last bunch of years to more of a group home thing. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'd probably say around 2020. And I think by coincidence that COVID was also in 2020. But I think around 2020, I'd say the end of 2019, we were supporting people down in Wollongong, down where you're from. He was living in his own home until the housing was going to go up for sale, so he needed a new place. And this particular participant that we supported, when he needed a new place, also, I suppose, with COVID and prices of property were all changing, opportunity came up where there was a good opportunity for MHLC to acquire a property that this gentleman could stay in, and with all the kind of ducks aligning, we purchased the place and moved him into the house, and he kind of became our first SIL participant. And then
sorry, SIL. What's SIL? Just for those that don't know.
SIL. So SIL is supported independent living. I suppose it's kind of like the NDIS term for group homes or disability group homes. So in this was so in 2020 that was our first group home for this gentleman that we were supporting, and then from there we kind of explored the idea of group homes and started reaching out to the local community and our local network that we built kind of in the area, and from there we kind of organically grew the group homes in Wollongong, and that worked out quite well. It's also kind of how we met yourself.
Sean. Come on board in the middle of 2021.
Yeah, through the same gentleman who introduced us, and your great work obviously led to a good reputation down in Wollongong, which allowed that to kind of naturally grow. And same thing happened with Central Coast. Opportunity came up, went for it, and that kind of is growing as well. So we've got 2 homes in Central Coast and about, I've lost track for Wollongong. You probably know better than I would these days.
Yeah, I think we've got 6 at the moment. So it's various. Some have got 1 person, some have got more than that, 2 or 3.
Yeah. We're not aiming to be the biggest provider. We still consider ourselves a small NDIS provider. We're not looking to be the biggest, but we are looking to grow organically in a way that is appropriate for the people that we support. We're genuinely just trying to help people.
That's right. All I got from that there is that you don't need to be the biggest to be the best. That's what they're aiming to be the best, so don't have to be the biggest available. That's right. Get out there and do your thing. Good to hear. And now I also picked up another thing. I was aware of the term SIL, Supported Independent Living, but I didn't realise it referred to group homes as well. I thought it was just one-on-one. Oh, well, there you go. Group homes are still supported independent living as well. Makes sense, but it never clicked in my head. No drama. All right, let's just move on, get back to some tunes now. The time is 28 minutes to 1 p.m, so we've got 28 minutes of the show left. For now, I've got for you 10cc from the self-titled album, Taste 10cc, with Rubber Bullets from 1973. Yes, that was just our Rubber Bullets by 10cc. And now, let's just finish off some more. I'm playing another tune. Oh, I'll get back to the interview, sorry. That's right, yes. This is part 3 of the interview with Matthew Vanno, with Sean, who's the head from My Home Living Care. Thank you, Sean, for listening for me. Good work. Thanks, mate. Here we go.
And so just in terms of that growth too, I think it's also good for people to know there's a couple of group homes in Sydney. And also possible in Mudgee. I don't think any clients there, There's still, but
yeah, of course. Yeah, so we do have a couple in Sydney, and Mudgee is an area that we are looking to explore as well. Again, opportunity came up, managed to get a house.
It's sort of 2 houses, really, isn't it? 2 houses on a block.
It's a block of land with 2 houses, so that's kind of how it became an appeal for us. And I suppose, we just kind of build a local network, and then and present that that is available should someone be interested to move in or check it out, see if it's appropriate for them and all that. So
I think there's a lot of things there talking about My Home Living Care do very well. I think one of the big differences between My Home Living Care and some other organisations is the ownership of those houses.
Yeah. So we own disability group homes, and that's mainly because our main goal is to have long-term tenancy for the people we support, without having any sort of landlords that may, change their mind, increase the rent, decide to sell, that kind of thing. We want to avoid all of that. So our goal is to ensure long-term tenancy for the participant for as long as they're willing to stay at the SIL house. And of course, we try and make them comfortable. We not just comfortable, actually enjoy staying there.
I think that ownership, that for me, I've been involved doing this for a long time, 28, 29 years, having that security of tenancy, because My Home Living Care own the houses, I really enjoy. It's one of the things I really like about the work that we do at My Home Living Care. Like you said, no one's going to come in and want to double the rent or develop it or do things, although having said that, there are a couple of places we are developing, but that's all to increase the amount of disability kind of specific or suitable accommodation out there. It does. I mean, and then to be honest, I don't know if you're aware of this, but a couple of the people that we're working with in Wollongong have come to us because the houses they were in, the landlord had put up the rent significantly or made changes to the way they were doing things, and so people have been pushed out of the houses. So I think that's a key difference.
It is one of the, up in Central Coast, which is, I suppose, is where I'm more heavily involved these days. A few of the participants that moved to us had experienced the same thing, where they were basically getting kicked out of the home because the landlords decided to sell or put the rent up, and the organisation's not able to keep up. I suppose there's that media coverage that the NDIS is some sort of cash cow, so to speak. So landlords are taking advantage of that and charging companies a lot. And some companies companies may not be able to keep up with those sort of demands, so they're forced to kind of close the group home down.
And just so people are aware too, the NDIS covers the wages of the support staff, but it doesn't cover the living costs of the clients or the residents or the the participants. So they're usually on a disability support pension, overwhelmingly. Some of them maybe had a compensation payout, but they're very, very small. The landlord does get a bit overexcited about some of these things around the NDIS and what they think people can afford, but it really is people on pensions, and they've obviously got very limited incomes, can pay very limited rents, and so it's very easy for them to be priced out of the market.
Yeah, that's right. So I think I do think it's the media coverage and the people's perception of it becomes skewed. But yeah, NDIS only covers the services, not the rent, not the groceries, not the luxurious holiday.
Yeah. And even to the thing, where, say, someone's going out with a support worker to the movies or to a concert, that person has to pay the entry fee for the support worker.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of places now that take a thing called what they call a companion card, where the carer might get in for free or for $1 or, some nominal amount. Like if someone does go on a holiday and they have support workers go for them, the NDIS doesn't pay for the, the penthouse at the Novotel or wherever they're at. Yeah, they've got to pay the accommodation and the accommodation of their support workers that go with them. The NDIS only covers those wages, which I feel, like you say, from the media coverage, that's probably a not very well understood point of this funding. It only covers the wages. And the MHLC doing a bit of community stuff, especially up in the Central Coast.
So we were supporting running a program called Enables, which is basically an inclusive event for everyone, not just people with disabilities, but it's an event that is open to everyone and anyone. I guess
disability friendly is a good way to, I think, call it disability friendly.
Yeah, disability friendly.
But not
So
exclusive.
it's pretty much open to anyone, and there was a point where I think we were getting about 80 or 90 people coming through. You'll probably be able to correct me if I'm wrong.
I was involved with that as the DJ and helping organise. So.
It was great to see lots of different people, and it's not a marketing ploy or anything like that. It's literally just an event that we help to make sure that people of all different, to help people of different abilities to kind of get together and have a place where they can kind of feel safe and party hard, so to speak. Because they could definitely party hard.
Yes. Yeah, as a DJ, it's the best events to do. People are so enthusiastic. They literally dance like people aren't watching, and that fun and that response is infectious, and so everyone ends up getting involved and dancing the night away. And as a DJ, that really builds that DJ ego because everyone's up dancing. 90% of the people are dancing for 90% of the night, which is not always happening. It's good. Yeah, and then through that, we also got invited to another one called Waves.
So Waves is a similar kind of setup, but it is a paid entry setup where the staff, the supporting the people with disabilities, can come in for free. That is held about once a quarter. Again, at Central Coast, but it would be great to kind of expand outside the Central Coast too. Maybe down the line. Do you know the social media for Waves?
I think just Google Waves is the best. Waves Central Coast Inclusive Dance Party is the way to find it. There's a Facebook and an Instagram and cool. All right, so I guess we're now getting towards the end of the interview. What's on the horizon for My Home Living Care and for Matthew?
Oh well, for Matthew, world domination. No, I'm kidding. For me, I love spending that time with my family, so being able to still spend time with my family and kind of have the business organically grow, that pretty much ticks all my happiness goals.
Yeah.
But in terms of business-wise, being able to expand further outside of Sydney, or even in Sydney too, but I suppose being able to have that reach outside of Sydney, being able to support people and know that we're making a difference and that people that our participants are happy with us, that is, I suppose, my goal or where I'd like to see and My Home Living Care go. And from there being able to organically grow and being able to have a bit more group homes, a bit more group homes, having people with drop-in support needs being fulfilled or home care needs being fulfilled, and even being able to provide that culturally appropriate support to people. As I mentioned, it's not our focus, but it's still pretty much our core, so to speak, where we do want to help people in different cultures and try and find the correct matched person for everyone.
Fantastic.
If you ever do see me out in an event or a networking event, I always say this business is a people business, and we're all about people matching and getting to know different personalities, cultures, and
But like individualising it, focusing on what the client's wanting and wanting to get out of life and building that around them.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Yes, that was a very important prospect I just heard then from Sean. Think about how people always are misconstruing or misunderstanding what the NDIS represents. It always seems like they always tend to feel like it's a bit of a cash cow, like he's mentioned himself. It's not just an endless supply of money. The NDIS doesn't pay only pays for the services that the carers or the person who is accompanying the disability client themselves, only pays for them, not so much for what their entrance fees or anything like that. It pays for their time and what they do to support the client themselves, or the disability client. That's what I mean, yes. So it's not, like I said, not so much as cash cow. Yeah, I just thought I'd put in that 2 cents worth there, right there. That's from my understanding.